Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are out there. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Today is March 24th, 2020. We're going to write a little bit of code today.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
And we just got a raid from Kasukin. Thank you so much for that raid. Kicking things off right. Getting started here. Thank you so much, Kasukin. Great to see you. I hope you and yours are doing well wherever they might be. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you so much for joining us. My goodness. That's how you start things off right. You just finished your live stream just now. Well, thank you, Kasukin. I appreciate you joining us. And let us know what you were working on over there on your stream. 4 days until Eternal Dev Coder's birthday. Well, best of luck to you. Just in time to raid. Just in time. See, we worked that out. See, we planned that out. We didn't plan that ahead of time. I've got my Star of Hala, my Captain Marvel hat on. I hope I'm bringing a little bit of brightness, a little light into whatever it is that you may be doing today. Today is day 10? 10? Is that right? Of the lockdown order for my county. We're doing all right. Ran out yesterday, and we've now got a stay-at-home order for the county. They're not allowed to go out unless you're going to the grocery store or you're going to a medical facility. That's it. They're saying stay in place, stay at home. All right, we'll get through this. We will figure this out together. It'll work out. I'm positive. I'm upbeat. We can get through this. Everybody's healthy here in my home, in my family. I hope nothing but the best for yours. And we're gonna put that behind us. We're gonna stay home like we're supposed to. We're gonna have some fun. Let's tell some jokes together. Let's hang out, write some code, be a little productive, and have a good time. You look at the bright side on things, and make sure that these other things that are going on, it's not us. We're not being affected. The people that need to take care of them are taking care of them, and we can help them by not being out, keeping our social distance from other folks. Stay home. Stay away from getting infected. So, all the best to those that are out there working in the field, wherever it might be, and something happens that you and yours happen to get sick. I wish you the best, and we're gonna help by staying out of the way, not and keeping ourselves from possibly becoming part of the problem. So, it's a very strange time that we're in, and we're going to do what we've been told to do, and we're going to try and keep things moving. And we as developers, the folks that can work remotely, can continue pushing things forward here, helping businesses, help economies, because we can do things remotely. We can do things virtually, selling goods, delivering things, helping the web, help the internet. They didn't have this 100 years ago when the flu epidemic hit. We can get through this. We can do this now. All right. Kovamelia, thank you so much for the love there. Hey Simon, good to see you. Let me get some music playing here in the background. Let's get away from the talk about the epidemic going on here. Let's move on. Have a good time here. Today I'm going to play. Let's play. This is Orange. I think this is a good one, if I remember. Yeah, there we go. I've been adjusting my sound levels a little. I think I need a little more gain in here. I tried pulling back the gain a little bit on these. There we go. This is music to code by our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. It's been scientifically designed. It's been engineered to get you in the groove, to get you in the flow, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you could focus on and get stuff done. Check it out, mtcb.pwop.com, where you can execute the music command in the chat room and learn more and get your copy today. Pac-Man Jr., to be honest, having a heck of a time getting anything done at home. The past few days, as announcements have come out from the government, it certainly has been distracting. And as we try to prepare, as we try to handle the news that's coming in. And I certainly have had my share of distractions as well as we try and prepare things, whether it's the kids and schooling things, and school is now flat out canceled for them for the next month. Things for my wife and her job, and the things, her job is completely shut down now. The things that we're trying to do to maintain a state of normalcy, there's nothing else really to take away. You're staying home. You're going to have a staycation. Stay home, do some work around the house, clean that garage that you haven't gotten to in a while, take care of some yard work, plant a garden. These types of things that are going to bring you a little bit of joy without getting you out there, without creating additional problems for the folks that do need to be working at the time. Covamilia, thank you so much. Yes, we hit 10,000 followers. I'm just going to leave this here for today, and we'll figure out what to replace the gauge with there. We need to figure that out, but I will be planning a 12-hour stream. It's going to happen sometime in April after the Live Coders Conference. Live Coders Virtual Conference is April 9. There's a link to more details just below me here on the Twitch stream. You can also follow the Live Coders on Twitch. Let me put a shout out to them, to that. That is the channel that we're going to be broadcasting on. All of the Live Coders will broadcast into this channel, and you'll see a complete list of speakers. And I believe the schedule is set up there as well. 14 hours of Live Coders coming into your home, teaching you a little bit about technology, all kinds of different things. I hope you sign up. I hope you tune in. It's going to be a tremendous day. Thank you, Frank, for the congratulations on the 10K. Your garage has nothing to do with coding. I know, Happy Phone, I know. I feel the same way. There's no tech in my garage. I don't want to go there. It's not as fun. Yeah, but some of those things that you've been putting off, you got plenty of time to do now. So, I wanted to have a little bit of fun today. Some of the things that we've been talking about, a couple of requests we've had for commands and things that'd be neat to do on stream, some things that we wanted to tweak and tune. We're going to take some time and get set up. Smab says, if I'm isolating, you'll never see the backpack. So you can still go to, I think you can get to the post office. You could still do shipping things. So we'll see if I can get over there and make that happen. If I can, I can. If I can't, it'll wait a few weeks and we'll be sure to send it out. It's definitely on the agenda to be sent out. And I want to make sure that everybody gets that. Gets those things that we've given away here on stream. So between hat and some stickers, yeah, we're gonna get stuff sent out. It'll be all right. Just taking a look here, make sure everything that's going on. Yeah. Let me reorganize my browser window here, and we're gonna need. We'll come back to that one. All right, let's do this. Is that? Oh my goodness. As Drenmary? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Welcome in. Hello. Let's do this. So I want to spend a little bit of time, have a little bit of fun with some of the things that we've been building and doing here on stream. It's not going to be minimal March for a little bit here. I want to open up, go back over, because there's funny things with sound recording and playback that I want to get into here. I want to take a look at the stream tools that we've built. And there's one or two questions, one or two suggestions for features here that I'd like to get running as best we can here, and see what we can do to add some new features here, as suggested by you, some of the folks out there, including something I think will be a little bit funny and a little bit fun that we can laugh at together. So I'm going to... I know I'm not broadcasting yet. Hang on. Let me make sure I have the latest of that. And I'm going to open my browser here. And we'll do a little bit of work in Windows today. That'll be all right. Here we go. Let's go over to the code. There it is. This is Fritz.StreamTools. So this is most of the overlays that you see, other than the alert that appears there, the gauge below me. But the sentiment meter in the middle, that's a custom widget that we've built here on stream. The channel point redemption alert that appears, that's a custom alert that was built by me so that we could interact with the channel point redemptions, because no other service has that. That's something that we built here live on stream. And we get some tacos out of it too. Yeah, that happens. So what I'd like to do is, we had a request for the no and then audio clip. I don't have the no to go with it, to go with the and then. So I can either go grab it real quick here live on stream, which I think is going to be the way to go, and isolate that, add it into this, and I think that'll be a little bit of fun. And I would also like to talk about, we had this concept, we had this thing that I was doing the other day, the old man developer comments, right? Back in my day, we didn't have an IDE. We wrote we chiseled on stone slabs. That's how we coded. These types of things. I think it might be fun to record a handful of those and make them channel redemptions to play them back. And have some fun, let's laugh at ourselves, and have a good time writing a little bit of code and showing how you can integrate with Twitch and add some features to the stream here. That very meta. We're going to add features to the stream on stream. And then get back into building some Blazor components. What do you think, chat room? Does that sound like fun? Sound interesting? Coding with Luce. I know we're looking at ASP.NET stuff. Wanted to drop in. Some here may have watched your talk last night on Xamarin with ASP.NET devs. Yes. Oh, okay. And Luce is available if folks had questions from .NET Conf yesterday. All right. When I was your age, I coded with peeks and pokes. There you go. That's a good one, CTI Geek. Can we make a list of some of these real quick? Why am I doing this on Notepad? You can't contribute if it's on Notepad. I got an idea. It's like I planned it this way. Ways that we can contribute. What if we go to Gist on GitHub? Let's call this Old Man Developer Quotes. Right? He's not an old man developer, but he's Steve Ballmer. Thank you. Who's our new developer? Brox888. Thanks so much for joining us. And we'll call this oldmandev.txt. Let me copy in. I like that from CTI Geek. And I'm going to create this as a public gist. If you've got some ideas for some things that you hear older developers complain about, there's the gist. In fact, I'm even going to put it on the project. Writing old man developer quotes at, and there's the gist link so you can jump in and add some other ones here if you'd like. Add some revisions. Put a comment on there, and we'll record some of these and wire this up as a channel redemption today. How's that sound? Kazuma Kuma, hello, good to see you. Oh, it's been a while. Thank you so much for joining us. Old Man Coder, hey, that's me. I started on an IBM S23 using RPG2. We liked it. Yes, absolutely. In the early days of putting together the IDE for Visual Studio, our biggest adversaries were the cranky Microsoft developers who felt like command line or die. Now, see, there's all kinds of things, silly things that right? It's not making fun of old people. It's making fun of, look at how far we've come. Look at how productive we can now be. Look at the cool things we have now. And some of these sillier things that people might have done in a steampunk manner back in the day don't need to get right. We can have fun with that. Oh my gosh, Eternal Dev Coder, mine as well. My first programming experience was on a Commodore 64. Smab says, "Stop making me feel old." Hey, Copper Beardy's here. Hello. Bardaki feels so young now. Good to see you, Bardaki. Right. Where's the edit button? There it is. I used to code with a chisel and a stone tablet. Stuff like this, right? Hey, Kate's good to see you. Oh my gosh. I want to make sure I pronounce your name right. Is that Ukpik Australis? I like that one. This is a good one. That's a really good one. Back in my day, a forklift was required for hardware upgrades. That's a good one. With respect to Ukpik Australis, I'd like to add that to our quotes. Oh, you know what? No, we didn't have fancy cloud services with sliders to add more memory and disk space. How's that? Right, there we go. Smab's first coding experience was written on coding sheets, punched into cards, and sent away to run on a PDP-8, returned 2 days later. Yeah, there we go. Tape cassette, yeah. Elliot Brand. Has a question. Let me come to Elliot's question here about, it looks like about streaming, about working here. Read some blog posts that recommend using the Elgato Cam Link 4K to use a Handycam as a webcam with HDMI, but it may be sold out. Would the following work well? Or do you have a better recommendation? You have a phone. You don't need hardware. You have a phone. Here's what you can do. I'm going to copy that URL. Okay, Magewell, and who is this? I'm not familiar with this company. Agitato? Not familiar with them. I'm seeing a lot of Chinese knockoff companies in here. Not familiar with them. You don't need hardware for this. Check this out. Here's what you can do. If you want to use as a webcam with, you're looking for 4K, you're looking for high resolution, is what I'm hearing you want. What you can do is you can get the NDI app for, well, it's for iPhone, it's also for Android. What this will do is it will make your phone and the camera on your phone appear as a network attached camera. So what you can then do is you can run the NDI virtual input. See, virtual input. This is a tool you can download from NDI. It's a piece of software. It's free to install. It's free to get. And you can then click in here and you can choose to bring in from another device. Your camera will appear here, and now your phone appears as a webcam for your PC or your Mac, whatever. Take a look at that. The software, right? This is $10. Cheap and easy to install. And there's a similar one for Android that you can get. give that a shot. And you can of course clamp your phone to a monitor, clamp it and put it on a tripod. All kinds of ways that you can do that, and you can have your phone be a good camera for you. So give that a shot. I think that might help you a little bit. DD says Microsoft C7 had 41 CDs when it launched. 41 CDs or floppies. It cost $50 to ship. Oh my gosh. And that's when the company moved. That's when Mike Maples moved the whole company to online docs. Amen. How are we after the Xamarin Focus on .NET Conf event? Doing great. Fabulous. Let some good code written. Yeah, hand you that deck of cards and a hole punch. Amen. Hanselman's blog post where he references me. What about it? Yep. I taught that boy everything he knows about using OBS. There's a thing there. Yeah. So to be clear, that phone thing that I just explained, you can do that. You don't need to have your phone active and connected to your phone provider, right? It just needs to be attached to the network as a network device. So you're going across Wi-Fi and using it. You don't need, right? Find your favorite old phone that you might have there that has a 4K camera on it, because they've got better than 4K cameras on some of these iPhones. Use that. So, Ookpick, what about that blog post? Is there something about that? There's a joke somewhere in there about git push actually being a phone call to a data entry clerk. Oh my gosh, you're right, Kate. Oh my gosh, that's a good idea. We didn't have network attached source control. Instead, I called the intern working as a data entry clerk and dictated my code to them for transcription and backup and storage. There we go. How's that? That's a good one. All right. You fell asleep for a bit of it. All of the .NET Conf Focus on Xamarin is recorded, will be available over on the YouTube. Who remembers getting MSDN software CDs? I don't see it here. I have, from the last cycle of MSDN CDs, the Internet Explorer, green Internet Explorer disc that I've purposely kept. And MSDN Software magazine. It's on the shelf behind me. In the last 2 years of MSDN magazine, I wrote 2 articles that were published on MSDN magazine. And I'm very proud of those articles. That I wrote something that was published in such a great, long-standing reference that folks were using. You still have cases of MSDN CDs. Oh my gosh. The old computer shopper magazines. Yes. Floppy disks of trials. Oh my gosh. I'm going to come back over to here because some of these stories that are popping out here are just terrific. Ookpick Australis says Hanselman's blog post about managing cameras for other video conferencing apps. Yes, it does make for interesting stand-ups. Have you tried FaceRig? Do you know about the FaceRig? I've been meaning to play this gimmick on Hanselman, and he doesn't know it's coming yet. Don't tell him. I'm going to turn off the autofocus here on my camera because it feels like dancing. Have you seen do you know about FaceRig? Have you seen FaceRig? Let's have, the MSDN binders? Yes. Old man coder, back in my day, the save logo was actually a thing. You had a floppy. It wasn't whatever. Have you seen FaceRig? So FaceRig you can get on Steam, right? You run Steam, you know what Steam is, right? And there's an app out there called FaceRig. Now FaceRig there's different licensing levels for how you use the FaceRig. But what FaceRig will let you do is it'll use your camera and replace your face, with something else. Let me run over. I'm not going to show you my Steam. But where is it? FaceRig. I don't see FaceRig. I know I have FaceRig here. Where is it? Huh? Oh, that's filtered to games. Show me software. There it is, FaceRig. Yes, launch FaceRig. Please do. I'm going to get this started, and then I need to switch cameras here. There's FaceRig starting. You can see all the games I have installed there. Nice. I'm C# Fritz on Steam. If you're ever looking for a game, I'm out there, and I play a lot of Killing Floor, too. I like killing zombies. So, right, you can launch this, and I'm going to hook it up to the other camera. This camera here that's in front of me. Right? I was coding before MCSE meant must consult someone else. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going to copy that one, if you don't mind. Byte was your favorite mag? I might know somebody who's sitting here in chat who wrote some articles for Byte magazine. She might be here. There we go. So, camera not available. What? There's a camera there. We need to, let me see. Let's do this. I need to go here to there, and I'm going to deactivate this camera. And there's a way to initialize it over here. Look, you can be a cheeseburger, right? Where's old man in here? Is there an old man in here we can be? That's a really, no, that's weird. That's weird. There we go. Captain John Arden, whoever that is. Audio-based lip sync, yes, do that. But it's not seeing my camera. Where's my camera? Auto-calibrate tracking, yeah, it doesn't see the... I don't know how to restart this so it sees the camera. I don't see, and the buttons are all kind of meh. Right, it's not telling me anything here. Initializing, broadcasting. I think I need to restart it because my camera wasn't available. Try that again. I had a problem with this yesterday too. Right? Options. Rendering API, resolution, that's fine. It can be a smaller resolution. Shadow map resolution, really high, that's fine. Audio recording, no. We want this to come off of... nope, not that one. That one. Audio playback, I'm not using that. Silence. Performance. Options. Webcam feed mode. Hey, what are you doing? Whatever. I don't know what that means. Sika players rating. Whoa!
Sika player rated my stream with 31 viewers.
My mic is muted. No, it's not. No. You can hear me. I see the mixer coming through. How's it going, Sika player? Good to see you. Yeah. Thank you, David, Potesta, and Frank. Yeah. Where is the thing to actually select my camera? I don't see it here. Because I've got multiple cameras on the machine. This shouldn't have taken this long. Yeah, unmute Twitch. Still doesn't see it, and I can't... General options. Parental control. Yeah, whatever. Why doesn't it devices? Audio recording, audio playback. It doesn't... Why don't I see the selection for my camera? And I'd love to know what this button does. don't know what those things do. Screenshot, take picture, toggle broadcast, toggle tracking. I don't know what this is doing. Auto-calibrate expressions. Load video as input source. No, I want to set my input source. What the heck? Like, I've had this working in the past, and now all of a sudden it's like, no, not screenshot. I don't get it. Now, I've turned off the camera that I stream with over in. No, it's record, play performance, auto-calibrate head pose. I'm going to need to hit help here because it's not mature. No. Everyone. Devices. Audio recording, audio playback. Graphics. No. It's not under sounds or performance. But I don't see anywhere where it's saying, oh, here's the camera that you're using. Make sure your face appears in the middle of your webcam video. Yeah. How do I specify the camera that it's using this? I had this working, I promise. Oh, I've gone way off the... No. Too much beard. No, I've turned off the camera in OBS. It's disabled. But I don't even see where I can FaceRig camera selection. Right? Can't select my webcam. When in broadcast mode, PIP displays avatar. It goes black. The PIP displaying the FaceRig virtual camera means that the wrong camera is selected. Look in the launcher settings under advanced settings, general settings, devices. Advanced settings. Yeah, I'm over here. General settings. I see general options. And I don't see device over here. Devices. Devices. Audio recording, audio playback. Change webcam from advanced tracking configuration dialog. The trackers tab. Advanced tracking configuration. Where's advanced tracking configuration? Toggle tracking, calibrate, audio-based, play performance record. I'm sorry, friends, this is kind of lame here. Pose avatar, disable while tracking is off. Don't know what that is. Voice effects. Well, I want to turn tracking on. Trackers. Input type webcam. Finally! Okay. But it's still not up here. Show on main video feed. There, now it sees me. Haha! Alright. Good. Show tracker video feed. It's not showing that. Tracker status off. That's for the voice tracker. I don't care about that. Why won't... I don't get it. Why I won't see it. Right? It's still not seeing it. No. I don't get it. Wow. Okay. There we go. Now it sees me. Hello. Whoa. So, turn off the advanced junk over here that I don't need. right? How did we... This one. Right, and I should be able to change avatars. And I can be a dog. So the point I was going to get at is... we can have fun with this too. So, anyways. All of that and we didn't get anywhere. Alright. But now we know FaceRig is out there and I've got it configured. So, yes, very squirreled. Oh my goodness. You're right.
Squirrel!
Yeah, the docs are all weird. It got very, very weird.
Oh my.
Right? Yeah, Talk to Me Gooseman uses the dog every now and again. And it's fun. So, alright. I'm gonna leave these right out here. Well, we need to get the no and then clip. I think I still have the audio saved in my downloads that I used that from. That I got the and thens from. Oh, yes I do. Right. Where is it? Let me find that. Here we go. No. It would be like, Dude, Where's My Car is the name of this or something. Or maybe I don't have it. I don't have it. I've got all these other clips here and I don't have that one. Ma, the Meatloaf, G.I. Joe parodies. I've got this one hanging out here too.
I'm a Mog, half man, half dog. I'm my own best friend.
I don't know when I would use that, but I've got that. I've got the Blazing Saddles things. Darn it. I don't see it. Oh, wait a sec. Fix it? No. Emperor Palpatine's Good compilation? No. Let's find some sound effects here we can use. I don't see it. I don't have all the and thens. Rats! Okay. Let's get... I'm not going to wire up the no and then sound effect. I'll clip that later. But we can add that feature and have it point to an MP3 and we'll have it loaded up. I'll even record a dummy one to put in there to start. And then I'll get Ashton Kutcher's clip later. I'm going to run this. This is Visual Studio 2019. We're going to run. And I don't have it in my list of recent files. All right. Open a project. I'll show you how we build some of the things that are here on stream. C dev Fritz stream tools. These are, like I said, the widgets, some of the things, the commands that you see us run here on stream. You're not really irritated by apps you try out most of the time. You digitally throw them out of the window because you got enraged about how some stupid decision of how coders decided to make the user interface more complicated. Yeah. Is that MDia? Welcome in. Thanks so much for joining us. Can FaceRig be used with... Oh, Glasgow. Is that Glasgow Astro? Oh, has the question. Can it be used with Teams? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. FaceRig appears as a webcam on your system. So anywhere where you would select a webcam, you can choose FaceRig. I was in a call with folks from around the division. It was a kind of a breakfast get-together, just hang out on Teams, and I was the dog. It was amazing. I get on phone calls with the folks from Channel 9, and I'm a raccoon. I'm a cheeseburger. And it's funny to see Rick Claus just... It's not even a thing. It doesn't even faze him when I appear as something else. Like, what? I need to pull that on Christina Warren at some point. Don't tell her it's coming. We'll have fun with that. Okay. Where was I? Oh, some other commands, some other questions here. So yes, you can use FaceRig with Teams, and it's glorious. The only config file I ever needed was config.sys. Oh man, Ukpik, you have some good ones there. Yeah, tomorrow's stand-up's going to get real interesting, isn't it, at Glasgow Astro? I would... Can you do me a favor, and can you post some of those over here on the... there's the link. Drop a couple. Those are really good. Thank you. D Trouble asks a question here. Let me... a more serious question here. D Trouble asks, will Visual Studio for Mac one day be comparable to standard Visual Studio 2019? That's the goal. That's the goal. But you have to understand that Visual Studio 2019 has 15 years of development behind it that Visual Studio for Mac does not. So they're quickly trying to add features to Visual Studio for Mac that are inherited from full Visual Studio. They're working very hard to try and get those features over there. There's some challenges around Visual Studio for Mac has a much smaller audience, has a much smaller customer base. So to justify spending a lot of time and a lot of resources to make those conversions isn't necessarily the best business decision. So they're trying to balance getting features in there with good business decisions. So they've got a lot of good folks working, and they've cross-pollinated, bringing folks back and forth between the original Visual Studio for Mac team and the Visual Studio team, so that we can get both Visual Studios at parity with each other. But the fact that Visual Studio for Mac is used by significantly less folks means that it's not going to get features as quickly, but they are working diligently to add those features over there. In particular, you saw they just brought over, they now have the same Razor engine in both tools, so that you get the same Razor editing experience in Visual Studio 2019 and Visual Studio for Mac. And hopefully they've got it connected with appropriate interfaces so they can do that update easily between the two. And I think you're going to see that type of behavior continue as they evolve both Visual Studio editions. But it's going to take a little bit of time for Visual Studio for Mac to catch up, without question. But it's coming. They're working on it. Thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. You should have bought FaceRig when it was on sale. Well, yeah. When is Teams going to release the background image in Teams? When is Teams going to release the background image feature to the unwashed masses instead of the Twitter MVPs? I don't know. I don't work on the Teams team, but I know that they are quickly releasing new features. We've had it internally for a few months testing, and there have been you get some really ugly artifacts around people because it's the camera telling, hey, here's a person on screen, and being able to show and hide them. And for a while it didn't know what a person was. It saw movement and would unblur that, so somebody's cat would walk past in the background and you'd see the cat would be unblurred and you would see that. These types of things happened at one point. I don't know what their release schedule is, but as Teams and these other remote collaboration tools are becoming more and more valuable because of the situation our world is in today. I would hope that they're planning to do releases of features like that sooner than later. Or you can do what I did and just put up a green screen behind you and replace it on the fly, and Teams folks don't even know that there's a thing going on there. Prank calls are an amazing thing. Yes, absolutely. Visual Studio is older than 20 years. Visual Studio is about 23 years old. The first Visual Studio was released in 1997, I want to say. So, Beachcasts is here. Good to see you, Beachcasts. Beachcasts is another member of the Live Coders team, a recent new member. Thank you so much for visiting. Appreciate that. Will there ever be a way to work in .NET Standard on Visual Studio Code? Asks Sean of the Dev. Let me put that question up. Yes, .NET Standard you can always work on in Visual Studio Code. .NET Standard isn't coupled to a specific version, a specific .NET runtime, so you can code and build with .NET Standard on VS Code. In fact, the Blazor components that we've been building, I can show you this. The Blazor components we've been building, they're .NET Standard. They're written with .NET Standard. Let me go to source. And the unit tests as well. They're .NET Standard as well. You can build .NET Standard. I went right past the project file. There it is. There you go. .NET Standard 2.1. So you can program in .NET Standard on VS Code no matter what. And we've been doing this in VI. So you just need the command line SDK and you can work in .NET Standard. And we'll get back over there. That's what I want to do in the second half of today. Oh, these are some good lines here. I'm going to guess that is separating of platform-specific UI rendering from all other code was... Let me put this comment up from Simon. Separating of platform-specific UI rendering from other code was not too big of the architect priority for... Yes. Yes. Visual Studio, right, was initially designed to be Windows first, Windows only, and there's a lot of stuff when you look at the things Visual Studio needs to run, are tightly coupled to Windows. So making that separation in Visual Studio so that we can then lift some of those features and put them into Visual Studio Code is a bit of an effort. There's absolutely work that needs to be done there. And the opposite is true also. The folks that were building stuff for Visual Studio for Mac, before that, the Xamarin Studio, were targeting Macintosh. So they weren't considering, we need to have this be able to run on Windows also. So crossing that boundary, there's a bit of plumbing, there's a bit of architecture, application architecture, that these folks, and they're some of the best in the business at developers building tools, these folks are working through. So, Dee Dee, you gotta leave. All right, you have a good one. And we'll catch you later. VisiCalc was the best calc. Yeah, absolutely. There's another good one. .NET Standard naming will change or get D-Trouble has another question here about .NET Standard. Will it change or get more comfortable with .NET 5? No. Here's the thing. .NET Standard isn't going to go away because .NET Framework isn't going to go away. .NET Framework ships with Windows. .NET Framework is going to be around as long as there is Windows because Windows has this strong tenet around backwards compatibility in order to ensure that some of those applications that folks wrote over the last 20 years targeting Windows with .NET Framework, in order to ensure they continue working, they're going to continue shipping .NET Framework. Now, it might only get bug fixes. It might only get small updates, security fixes. It's not going to get new features, but it's going to continue to support those applications. Well, in order to support those applications, you need to have a .NET Standard, which means .NET Standard isn't going away. .NET 5 implements .NET Standard, and you're going to be able to use those .NET Standard consuming features in .NET 5. But that also means you'll be able to reuse those features that you previously wrote that target .NET Framework if you refactor them to target .NET Standard. Pull them out into a class library, change that class library so it's .NET Standard, and you'll be able to reuse them then on .NET 5. So, you have seen me use multiple machines. Have I used a Mac? Two Wolf asks. So, you've seen me. I've used a virtual machine here. I'm using my Windows machine here. I've used a Chromebook. Have I ever used a Mac on Stream to Code? Yes. In fact. Darn it! Where's the... I can't talk right. Where'd it go? I've got it. It's over here somewhere. Where is it? Coming up in about a month and a half is the month of May, and it's a little known fact that here on the stream, just like we've been doing Minimal March, and this is the first time I've done Minimal March, in May is for Macs. All month long, in the month of May, we use a Macintosh to write software here on stream. So that's coming up. October is Ubuntober. All Ubuntu Linux all month long. And maybe we need to figure out, is there a Chromebook month? I don't know. Maybe that's what Minimal March is. A little bit on the Chromebook. Maybe we need to figure out, is there a Chromebook month? I don't want to make December Chromebook month. But maybe there's a way that we can do that. Right? Yes, no, absolutely. We do. May is for Macs. For sure. Visual Studio Online month. Pac-Man Jr. Yeah, that's going to be a thing coming. In fact, you can try, if I do live share here, we can do a live share and you can open it in your browser now. Because Visual Studio Live Share, I don't know if you saw this, now supports connecting with your browser using Visual Studio Online and being able to navigate around the application. So, there we go. Oh, no comments? All right. Any plans for making Visual Studio cross-platform? No. Visual Studio Code is your cross-platform editor. Full Visual Studio will not be cross-platform. It's as you're hearing and as we've discussed with Visual Studio for Mac, the effort to make those features, that architecture, cross-platform is really hard. So the return on that investment, because it is a business decision to make Visual Studio cross-platform, the return on that investment just isn't there when Visual Studio Code is the text editor. And quite frankly, folks that are on Linux, in the surveys and the user studies that we had done, folks on Linux want a text editor. They don't want an IDE. Those developers that are Linux first, they would prefer a text editor that they can customize to the nines. They want the freedom to be able to change and enhance their text editor the way they want. And you have that with Visual Studio Code, completely open source, front to back, that you can use and customize to meet your needs, right?
Squirrel is so bad, he's good.
See, I fixed Natasha there. I cranked up the gain on all of the Natasha things. And that's totally a thing. So there's all the Natasha quotes. So you can actually, these commands are there in the chat room if you'd like to execute them. And trigger Natasha. Squirrel is so dumb, right? That's a command you can run. But these are all sitting there in there with a appropriate cooldown. And we want to add a no and then command is the first thing that I want to add. I want a no and then clip. And we'll record something for that. I want to fix, we need the background. We need a background for the channel point redemptions. And actually, this might be, can we do this in OBS? Might be able to do it in OBS with a little CSS wizardry. Finally, we want to add a channel point redemption for old man developer. we'll need to record some clips for that. Okay, I think we can do this. Is this the stream tools on GitHub? Yes, it is. Yep. It was interesting to talk to Ryan Nowak when he toured down through Australia back in October when he was saying about changes regarding the .NET launch. I don't know what he was talking about with that. A channel point redemption for FaceRig, suggests 2Wolf. I need to work it out a little bit, but I'm not opposed to that. Doing 15 minutes as something on FaceRig? I need to do some setup for that. We can work on that. I can... Oh, she's not here. I was going to say, Didi and Svava would be laughing. Hey, Unhip Coder, good to see you. And don't forget, friends, Friday we're doing our ASP.NET Core workshop. I'm going to turn off channel redemptions during the day for that, so we can't change the screen and different things. We're going to try and stay a little bit more serious that day. But because we hit 10,000 followers here, I am going to do a rainbow beard for the day.
Let me add some value.
There's Svava. Hello. She can hear me.
I can hear you. Work call just ended.
So we're talking about doing a channel point redemption for FaceRig. That's a thing. Thank you so much. We're going to make a donation to code.org. Thank you so much. We need a cheeseburger command now. What would the cheeseburger command say? There's a thing there. So I need a no and then clip, right? And you can see I have the and thens up here. If all 6 of the and thens get used up, it'll cool down for 120 seconds. And the Scots are here as well. Where's Scott? Scots. There they are, right? Why, yes. I do have, what is that? 7, 8. I do have 9 clips of Scott. Cheeseburger FaceRig? Well, that would be one of the channel redemption options, is to choose the cheeseburger FaceRig. And I'm going to have to push that way out there like 50,000 channel points to do that or something. And I know there's people out there that have like 70,000. So, right? We have all the Scots. So I want to add no and then, and it's just one clip, right? It's just, we're just going to say no and then. And I'll be able to see, there's one of the Scots. It's not exclamation Natasha, actually. Right, the different Natasha clips are, here we go. Figured out, found, crush, bad, dumb, right? And that'll trigger Natasha. So, close, Marcus voice program. Yes, Friday is the ASP.NET Core 3.1 workshop. And
I found a nuisance squirrel. It's so bad. He's good.
So there's a problem that they overlay each other. They don't queue up before they play back. Right, and we should have a global cooldown of a few seconds between each one of those. So we need to maybe address some of that. Okay. Right. Global cooldown in sound effects. Need to address that. Sean of the Dev has a question about MVC. Is there real value in moving an MVC app to .NET Core MVC? Yes. Huge value. So, and I'll break that down for you, Sean. Raw performance. Moving from ASP.NET to ASP.NET Core is going to give you an order of magnitude performance improvement just in doing that migration. And if you're an MVC, you're already in the right architecture to move over there. You're going to be able to get over there, I don't want to say quickly, but with less bumps in the road, let's say, okay? Because if you're doing some things that were very native to IIS, things like interacting with requests, interacting with context. All of the context, HTTP context things were completely rebuilt, so you're going to lose those signatures. But if you get things migrated over there, and there's a analyzer that you can run, a tool that you can run for portability. I think it's called the Portability Analyzer you can run, and it will tell you how portable your application is and where you're going to need to make some changes. So number one, you're going to see raw performance improvement. Number two, you're going to be able to deploy using Docker containers, which means it runs on Linux. So you're going to be able to run on a machine that has less overhead and be able to then consider things like Kubernetes for your orchestration, which is going to make it a little bit easier to respond to your heavily used app scaling up and scaling down appropriately. So a couple of immediate benefits there, plus because you can do cross-platform development, your developers that want to work... No, the moose isn't here. Your developers that want to work on a Mac will be able to without running into any issues because it's all cross-platform compatible. And even if folks want to work on Linux, that's okay too, because it's all cross-platform compatible. So a lot of good options there to help make your development team more productive and make your application run faster and make it more manageable by getting into containers. .NET Core Workshop will be at it'll be at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central, 7 a.m. Pacific, 1400 UTC, and that's something like 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, I think. I could be wrong. The change to .NET Core is spectacular, yes. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you're going to see there. Somebody tweeted yesterday about changing a blog from ASP.NET Core 2.1 to 3.1. CPU is only working now at like 20%. Yeah, you're going to see the jump. So once you get into .NET Core 3 and 3.1, the memory allocation for the web server is 0 for the web server to run. As soon as you start writing code, that changes. But for memory allocation for the web server to run, it's 0. It's amazing. So it runs lightning fast. 7 million requests a minute. And if you have 7 million requests a minute for your blog, go ahead and deploy another instance of that. Now you can support 14 million requests a minute. You're still in pretty good shape. The number of websites that need to support 14 million requests a minute, not many. Not many at all. You found the change to .NET Core means a longer build time when developing. Marcus, I'd love to hear more about that because that's something that the team is absolutely working to correct. Let's take that offline and discuss further over on the Discord. So the easiest way to .NET Core is to get everything, all your business logic, everything except for that web user interface presentation. You're absolutely right, Simon. Get all of your business logic into .NET Standard, and that'll run with your .NET Framework application now. But you'll be able to completely reuse that when you migrate that web front end into .NET Core. So that build time should be much faster. So, Junior Felix, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. Let's get into this. So, we need a no and then. Let's start there. We need a no and then clip that we can drop in here. So, friends, I'm going to show you how I record a clip like that real quick. Let me stop the music. Right? Stop the music. And I'm even going to mute this, so that even if you do try and run a sound effect, it doesn't pop up here, or we won't hear it. I'm going to change my microphone so it's coming in from my USB output, which is this one. So I have a mixer hooked up to my PC. It's a full audio mixer. You can see details about that on my blog. If you go to live.jeffreyfritz.com, you can see details about how I have my mixer hooked up. And the microphone here, this is an Audio-Technica AT2020. There's links about that microphone over there as well. But you see I get great sound on stereo channels coming through on the microphone. Great. I'm going to pause that real quick, and I'm going to record the no and then clip. And we'll edit that down and make that available so that you can trigger it. Let's see what we can do here. No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then. All right, let's see what we get. How this sounds. I need to unmute it so that we can actually hear it. Right? No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then. All right. I think we should chop that up a little bit. What do you think, chat room? So let's chop these bits off. Let's normalize. So I normalize so that we have a, right, you see here I clipped a little bit. So it'll fix that, and I'll also put the compressor on it. So it brings everything a little bit normal here, right? Bends the audio wave. No and then. No and then. No and then. No and then. It is mono, but it'll come through on 2 channels. It's mono because it's just one microphone. So that's fine. I think, right, just thinking this through, I think I want to choose one of these 2. No and then. No and then. I think I'd want the second one. And do I want this one? No and then. No and then. I don't think I need the third one. Maybe I do just the middle 2 here. No and then. No and then. Nah, let's take just the first one because I like the obnoxious bit here. Jean Valjean, hello. Good morning, TBD Gamer. Good to see you. No and then. Yeah, I want just that one. So I just did a copy paste. I have it over here. And I'm going to export this. I can play music again because I'm not going to play any other content. Look at all those voiceovers. Oh my goodness. This goes over in Fritz Stream Tools, and here's this. And I've recorded voiceovers for all kinds of folks. You can request a voiceover custom for you if you want. It's a channel point redemption. I think it's 20,000 points, and we'll redeem that for you. Under dub root, I believe I put it under contents. There we go. We'll call this no and then. Yep, save it. And now we got a file. And I'm going to close this and leave it around so we can do some of the old man developer things. So now if I scroll up here, where'd it go? Stream tools, dub root, contents, there we go, and there's no and then. So we'll add no and then. I'm trying to keep these somewhat in order here, and failing miserably. Oh well. I'll put it near the and thens. How's that sound? Right. So this is just a JSON file that I have these. It'd be nice to have a little bit of a user interface to this. So it was easier to add these, but whatever. It works for me. I did that wrong. It should be like this. Right. Gosh, this would be so much better to handle if it was in YAML. Huh? If it was in YAML. Haha! You beefed up a Pac-Man game with some customized MP3 swearing sound effects. That'd be cool. Bald Bearded Builder is here. Hello. Good to hear that everybody's doing well there, Curious Drive. Thank you for the coffee command. Yeah, we're drinking a little bit of Madrinas. Let me reopen. Reopen? I haven't opened my vanilla cappuccino in the green can so you can see right through it. Ah, there we go. All right. So no and then, what text response should we put? Well, I think that's kind of clear. We'll do C# no, C# and then. And I'm just going to put an exclamation point behind that. I don't need. Yeah, just one. And there's one file for that. Right, and that file is no and then dot mp3. There we go. Cooldown. Let's make that 60 seconds is long enough. right? Do we need it? What's the cooldown message for that? No and then. Is that a thing? Serverless YAML. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That's just wrong. Okay, I think that's... Okay, so that adds that feature, that sound effect into the mix. Right, there it is. So we'll be able to do no and then when I deploy. Okay, so we've got that. The background for the channel point redemptions. Is that something I can do in OBS? Let's see. What would be the best way for me to show OBS on screen without completely wigging it out? It's up here. Oh, here I can just do this. So this is the channel points redemption here. Instead of saying the background color is transparent, I could say the background color is like a see-through gray, right? Like a semi-transparent gray. Right? Set a little bit of things. Do we need a YAML command? We could do something with that. Let me see. Let me go down here. Back to this. Right. I want a CSS. Right, and like a dark gray, so the white pops out, or maybe even like midnight. CSS color. I need to do like can we do this? I like the midnight blue, something like this, but I want to change it over to RGB, so I can do RGBA, right? Because I need to have the transparent. RGBA. Do we have something there? What about? Here we go. I'd like somewhere, right? It was, right? Something like that. And I want to put the alpha on it, so something like this. Maybe even like that. So you can kind of still see through it. So that's our RGBA. So if I copy that, right, and make it here like this, right? If I use HSB, I can make sure the color is the same independent of background color. But I can't, can I do HSB? Ooh, wait a sec. That's not right. That's not going to work. We can't have that color always on like that. But I could set it when the message appears, right? I could do that. Yeah. Okay. So that means, so when the channel point redemptions appear, I have that code. It's actually triggered with a little bit of Signal R. Signal R is our ASP.NET Core and ASP.NET feature that allows us to have a live connection to a client, so we can push messages from our server to the client, and we have a message that we push that we just tell to display on screen. It's not under there. Is it over here under... Did I put it under redemption? Yeah, points. So these are the channel points redemptions. There we go. Channel points alert. Keyframes fade in and fade out. That's how we're doing the fade in, fade out. Aha! Okay, so here's the alert image. So on alert, right? Where's the alert? Here it is. So we add the fade in and the fade out classes so that it does that transition. So I think can we just put it on the alert itself, right? Because it just makes it appear with here's the text of it. Right, because it's been faded out. It's at 0 opacity right now. Yeah. It adds fade out to everything. So it's at 0 opacity. So I can put on the alert that background color. Right, and it should just be there. So, Nightmare Joker is asking a question about SignalR. So that's like a WebSocket. It's exactly like a WebSocket, yes. The idea with SignalR was when it was initially invented, when that framework was invented, not everybody's browser had WebSockets. So how do we ensure that we always get that live connection to a browser or to a client that might not support WebSockets? So what SignalR does is it gradually steps down technology. If it doesn't get a WebSocket connection, it'll negotiate and step down from WebSocket through through server sent events, forever frame, and even polling as a last option to try and affect the ability to have that interaction. Yeah, SSE, server sent events. You're right. So the communication for us as developers feels like WebSockets, and that's the priority that they'll make available and try to establish. But you code against it and you don't care what it's actually using. It just works. So that's a thing. That totally works and works great. And the best part about using SignalR is when the next technology comes along, right, after WebSockets, right, and it's WebFoo, whatever foo is, and it gives you immediate lightning access into someone's brain so you can push data there. I don't know what it is. I'm just making this up. I have no insight into this. SignalR will continue to just work. They'll adapt the protocol pattern so it uses that instead. In fact, they've added different compression algorithms to SignalR that you can opt into, and if the client supports those, it'll use that instead. Leaking secrets! No, I'm not Matt Auerbach. That's not me. I don't do that. There are no Fritz leaks happening here. Please compile says, I'm writing a microservice with Flask using SQL Alchemy Magic, so you're getting Entity Framework and MVC all with beautiful Python. Well, hey, if that works for you and that makes you happy, terrific. I'm happy for you. Please compile has a question here. I'll answer this before I get back into this. Yes, him too. Do I like using inheritance with C#? You forget what it... do you use any using inheritance? You forget what it looks like. Yes, I use a lot of inheritance in here. So this is my attention views. The attention views run off of what's called a controller in MVC, which handles those requests coming in and gives them off to your method that's actually processing and going to show what the things are. So in this case, we inherit from a controller object that knows how to do all the negotiation and receiving that request information, pass it off to the appropriate method name that has the same, that is going to handle that route that was requested. So in our case, for the attention, for the points redemption, right, we browse to attention/points, and it's just going to return the view. We could do other things in here, but for this, we're doing something simple. So we're just returning the view, and that view has this name, and here's the HTML and the templating to go with that. So there's a funny behavior in the SignalR JavaScript client. You have automatic reconnect option, which works fine, but one condition: it must be connected before. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So this should work, should do our thing for us for helping with managing the interactions from channel points. We can, and I have a way to test that out here. So I'm going to run this, let this compile up and get running. So it'll look weird. It'll look like we have two bots running in the chat room here. This is the command line starting up. Ryan Saunders, yo, how's it going? Blazer, Mr. Magoo, we're doing all right. We're doing a little bit of tidying up of things for the stream, doing some meta work on some of our widgets, just to have a little bit of fun today. Kind of take a little bit of the edge off of working on components and things, and do some things that are a little bit sillier, a little bit more fun to work on together. You'll see my Oracle sprox and raise me Postgres sprox. Don't do that. Here we go. Get this thing loaded up and we'll take a look. Come on. Get loaded. Let's go. Not loaded. Come on!
Bueller.
Right?
Bueller.
It's running. Waiting for localhost.
Bueller.
Today.
Bueller.
Do I have to... Oh, it hit a breakpoint. Darn it. Let's delete all my breakpoints, because I don't know what breakpoints are here. Get rid of those and keep right on moving. You never worked in Postgres? Postgres is a pretty good database. Pretty good database. It's nice that you can start it up very quickly inside of a container, get things working. I'm not going to do the attention test client. So I forget, it's right, just attention, is that where it is? If I open a new one, pull this over here, right, and if I just go to /attention, yeah, it's an empty thing.
Hey, listen.
There we go. Thank you for the follow, Ryan Saunders. Appreciate that. So that works, but I want to look at the channel points, which is attention / I believe it was points. Is that what it was? There we go. That looked right. Ooh. I'm going to allow that. It detected that as it detected that as possible swearing, but I get EF in production at scale. Yeah. Hey, Electro, good to see you. So now I can test the points redemptions, right? And where is it? Wait a sec. I don't see the... Oh, there it is. I didn't scroll down far enough. Let me see. I can do a point redemption for whatever I'd like. But is that see-through? Right? Does it have a thing behind it? Does it handle the overlay over top of? Let me see if we do. I don't want to view page source. Let's do an F12. Can I set the background and see it pop through? Console. Go away. I don't care about what's new. Document.background. Right? Document.style. Or document.background. Background image equals, give me a URL. Where's a good, what's today's, there we go. What's the Bing image there? That's not what I wanted to do. Right. No, I want to see, give me a background image. Oh, come on. Gradient, blah, 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 blah. I just want a back, nice. You make me sad. Cool wall Wallpapers. There we go. Oh, you know what I could do? I didn't even... Gosh, Jeff, why aren't you thinking this through? Let's do this. I know where to go to get this. Go over here. Thank you. There. I have in my dot files here. No, I have... Hang on. Huh? There we go. Wallpaper. And let's put this up as the background. And I can get to the raw version of this, right? Yeah, there it is. Copy that link. Yeah. And I can say URL, right? Like this. URL is not defined. Fine. Why didn't it pick that up? It should have totally picked that up. DevTools application frames top images? What? I don't... Application. Yeah. Frames. I don't see frames. Frames. Oh, top. Oh, look at that. Fancy. Didn't know that was a thing. I have never seen this frame before. Well, now I learned something new. All right. Why didn't it pick that up as my background image? Document.style. Nope. Do I need that on body? No. Why can't I set a background image? Right. Not TD. Way up here. This thing. I'll show you. Background image is, now I need to do URL. Still didn't work. Why don't you like that? Invalid property value. How do you figure? It's got an extra paren, that's why. There we go. Alright, now do the points redemption again. It's not transparent. It's not that RGBA, right? Not letting me see through it. Because that would be so, like, choice, right? Even though I've got the... Take that down further. And I need to put the... Right, put... Background image, URL. Okay. Test it again just to see what it looks. Oh, and let's see what we get here. Out of stock. Let's see, do that. No. No, no, no. Do this one. It's still not going translucent. Right? You know what? I'm just going to run with how it is. And I can figure that out later. Okay, so I got those two features built. Next, what else do we want to add here? So we got the background on that. It didn't work with this. Channel redemptions for old man developer. And channel point redemption for FaceRig. So that's something that doesn't need development. but global cooldown in sound effects does. Thinking. How do we do global cooldown in sound effects? Well, the sound effect comes through. It's handled in the chatbot. Attention command. It's not in it. I think it's down here. Sound effects command. Yeah. Play a fun sound effect. Here's the global cooldown defined, and it's hard coded. It probably should come in from configuration. That's referenced in 8 places. Those are in other. No. Do this. Let's see, where is it referenced? Well, that didn't tell me anything. If command's too fast, there it is. That's the global cooldown that it should be hitting, and because the audio sound effects have a 0 cooldown, there's a combination of needing a global cooldown and needing them to be played sequentially, right? I don't want to have people queue up and have a dozen and then requests all sitting there waiting to be executed. If you've executed too fast, stop. You're not allowed to. So I think we can just set this time span, just set this to 5 seconds. So we have 5 seconds between each sound effect, and we're done there. I don't need to be fancy with that. So Old Man Developer is the next one, and I want to do that as a channel point redemption, not something that you can just trigger. Yeah, cooldown. So the cooldown is, right, this is in place in all of our commands, so that you can set the cooldown appropriate, so that I can set the cooldown appropriately for each of these commands, right? So, like, there's a ping command over here that has a cooldown, right? The hype command, right? You can only hype every 5 seconds. So, yeah, it's a global thing across the sound effects. So, attention has a different one, right? Attention has, there we go, 10 seconds on the cooldown. And actually, there's a cooldown specific for the attention command. So if we want to do the, right, there's, I don't think I have. So where am I doing the channel point redemptions? Let's go find that and see if we can wire that up to playing a sound effect instead of sending the notification to the screen. So, thinking. Let's walk this back. The attention controller for the channel point redemptions wires up here. Channel point redemptions are listening to the attention signal R hub. So we're going to walk up to the signal R hub. I don't see it here. It's actually then inside of, where is attention hub? Here it is. So signal R is actually not coupled to ASP.NET Core. It's hooked up to .NET Core. So you can build and put that in other libraries and things and bring those hubs into other applications. So here's the various, and we've actually gotten rid of summon Scott, but the various things. There's alert, summon, play sound effect, notify channel points on the hub client. So something is reaching out to the attention hub and saying notify channel points. Where is that? Because I'm using an interface here, I kind of need to search and go through the solution and find where that's being called. There it is. Twitch pub subservice right here. So we connect to Twitch and receive information about channel points being redeemed. And after we identify what the redemption is, we notify that there was a channel points redemption. Okay. Now it doesn't notify of everything. It's only subscribing and listening to and playing back certain redemptions. So when you do a highlight of some of your text, we don't get the notification here on video. So how do I know which ones to redeem and which ones not? Okay. So this is created, it starts, it attaches, and it's listening for channel points on this user ID with a specific token. Okay. But I don't see it. So this looks like it's notifying on every channel points redemption. Let me go back over. It's not in here, not in here. No. No. This one. Is it deciding certain ones to show? No. So how is it deciding not to show channel points highlighted? Like the message highlighted, or when you redeem and get? Is it because I'm only getting the custom redemptions? That might be it, is because it's a custom redemption. Okay. Let's assume for a second that it's because it's only the custom redemptions that we're getting notifications on. I want to trigger a different effect. I want to actually play that sound effect randomly, just like we do with the audio when you fire, right, the exclamation point and then command. I want to do the same type thing, but for old man channel redemptions. So what if we would need to check the title, and if the title has old man in it, old man developer, you'd be able to pivot appropriately between the two, right, and trigger the other sound effects, right, the other thing. Oh, the reason the color doesn't become transparent because I set opacity 1. Thank you. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Skaw DK? Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And that kind of makes sense. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, but okay. All right. So here's what. Let's do this. I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna take you behind the curtain here, and we'll manage the rewards on Twitch. You can see what this looks like for a little bit. So this is managing the rewards for my Twitch channel. You can see all the different things that we can do here. And it's the custom rewards that are popping up here. And I don't have the live share ones turned on or the font because we're doing the minimal March thing, and that's not available in Vim. So let's add a new custom reward. And we'll call this Old Man Get Off My Lawn. the old man developer. Get off my lawn. The old man developer will share his wisdom with you. There we go. Nope, you're not going to enter text. We'll figure out an icon later. We'll set a background color later. Limit redemptions per stream. And cost. I think that's enough. No, totally kidding. 10,000? I think that's fair. Okay. So we'll figure out an image. We'll put some stuff with that so it looks fun. But we have that enabled. So if we run that now, redemption. Okay. So now instead of making that appear when it's get off my lawn, I want it to go and play a sound effect instead. Live coding, that's a good one. Generally just discuss the pain of calm, which I'm not sure is wise. Okay, maybe there's a quote there we can build out for this. So this is called Get Off My Lawn. So let's go back over to Visual Studio. And I'm going to create an exception for this. I'm going to create a rule to go and fire this. And my bot is misbehaving. Com was great. Decom though, yeah, not so sure. Oh my goodness. I need to restart the other bot. Dev, stream, tools. Alright. So now it's doing its thing. There we go. Alright. And I feel like there's going to be a list of these that we're going to pivot and go do other things. So I'm going to set up an action dictionary for it to search through and figure out, oh, go do this other thing instead. So that's a private static read-only. That's not how you spell read-only. There we go. And let's call this channel point.
I'm Scott, I'm new here.
Oh my gosh, Lily! Thank you so much for this up. I hope I pronounced that right. Or is it Lily? Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining us with your Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. We're going to make a donation to code.org. Welcome in. You're going to get a purple subscriber badge hat. You're going to get access to 17 emotes and get to throw emotes at my face. We'll turn off the ads as well. Thank you so much for your support. Sean of the Devs Wireless said, "Get off my LAN!" No. That's a... Oh, your SSID was "Get off my LAN." I get it. I get it. String, and we'll have this be an action that takes in a string to write with the name of the... Nah, just an action to go do. Yeah. Right, and we'll call this channel point actions. We'll create that as a new dictionary, and right, we're gonna start off with this is get off my lawn. Right, that's how I spelled it. Get off my lawn. Yep. And it had an exclamation on the end. All right, we'll do that. And the action we'll have it do is we'll call it old man developer. There's our action. I should be able to just do that. I need to put some curly braces around that. Yep, you don't know what old man developer is, but we're going to create that right now. Okay, so we'll call this channel point actions, and we'll put these down here. We'll start with just this one, because I have a feeling we're going to have more of these. Public void, old man developer. There we go. So that should satisfy this up here, right? Eh? Come on. Right, old man developer. Why don't you like that? Encapsulate field. No. String with an action. Do. Why won't you do that thing? Like that? You still don't like that. Oh, because it's not static. Do I need it static? I mean, I guess I do because it's being... I could do that. And we'll be alright, right? And I should be able to get rid of that. Because that's a thing. Yeah. But I don't want to execute it. Still doesn't like it. Because now I need this. Still doesn't like it. Field initializer cannot reference the static. Fine. Crumbs. Yeah, Elliot Brandon, there's another good one. Fine, we'll initialize this somewhere else if you don't like it. Initialize channel point actions. I'll move that somewhere else. And you'll like it. Right? Channel point actions equals this. Now it's not read-only. Fine, I don't care. Well, no, I could make it read-only. Equals new dictionary. So now I'm not creating a new one. I can just say add. That. Let's see. There we go. That's the syntax I wanted. All right. Next step. What other language other than C# has regions? Visual Basic has regions. F# has regions. The .NET, all of those have regions that you can use. And it's a preprocessor directive that it just ignores. It's something human. Something for humans to be able to consume. Okay. So now I have the old man developer action down here, and I want to have this trigger the audio playback, and the audio playback is being done over here on the audio. Where'd it go? The audio command. Here, sound effects command. We need to receive the attention hub client so we can force that playback. All right. So let's receive that. Right, because when this is started... Yeah, this is started in the background and provided with all these things. Oh, look at it all. So we'll put that in there, and we'll stash that hub context. Equals hub context. So now we have a reference to the SignalR client. So now I can, if I wanted, I could say hub context dot clients dot all dot play sound effect, and I can give it the sound effect to play. Right, something like that, and it'll play that sound effect. Boom, done, got it figured out. But that's not what we want to do. We want to load these up, put them somewhere, and have it randomly choose one to play. War Control asks, and this, it's not a bad idea. Have I tried to code using Xamarin Forms? What did I think about that? I haven't. I haven't spent time with mobile development, mostly because it's not accessible to me as an iPhone carrier who uses Windows. Great, you can develop till you're blue in the face. You can't put it on your phone unless you have a Mac. So I'm blocked out of that. I can't even consider it. It's a complete non-starter. So, right, it's like, well, okay, let me go get an Android then. Well, which Android do I get? So, am I going to drop $200-300 for a bad Android phone just so I can do mobile development? No. I don't think folks understand what gatekeeping Apple has done on their platform. It's not very friendly. It's not very welcoming at all. You literally, if you want to participate as a developer, you have to buy completely into Apple's platform, which is significantly more expensive. And you need to pay them $100 a year for a right to be able to do that. That's the way that Apple runs things. Google is much, much more inclusive. You can get any Android phone that you want to develop against, and you can certainly buy one for $100 or even $50, a little burner phone you can get down at the local big box store in here in the States. Of course, we have Walmart, go there, or Best Buy, one of those types of places. And right, you don't need anything to get started with that except for about 30 gig of Android SDK. 30 gig. It's something like that. It's a crazy, stupid SDK in size. So that, and it doesn't matter. You can deploy that and run that anywhere, and there's no problem with pushing that out to your phone. So there's options there. However, you can build a progressive web app, and it just works everywhere, and anybody can pin that web app to the screen of their phone, and it just works. Yeah, good luck getting a burner phone with an API newer than the last 4 years. You're right. More recent than 4 years ago. Yes. Even if you're in their ecosystem and you've bought a MacBook to develop on, you still have to get a phone. Yep. Their simulator doesn't support all the features of the phone. Yep. Is that Jaco Marcon says, and you have to spend $100 a year every year that you want your apps in their store. Yeah. You pay a licensing fee to have your app available. So, debugging a web app on iOS is a pain. I'm not going to disagree with you on that either. Side-loaded Xamarin Forms debugging and poof on your phone. Doable. That's very doable. But after that, then what? So, that's definitely a thing. There's a burr on the side of the can here that's tickling my lips. It's good for mental health to avoid mobile development as a rule. I'm not going to go quite that far. I want to randomly choose a sound effect from in here. I want to identify what are the sound effects we have available to us and see if we can play one of those randomly. So in particular, what I was thinking, chat room, tell me if this makes sense. I've already got a dub root here, and I've got contents, and this is where I have all my sound effects. What if I add a folder here, and we call this Old Man? And we just tell it, look in the Old Man folder and randomly choose one of those files to play. Well, my attention, my actual page that plays these is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, play sound effects. New audio, base folder, and it's just concatenating. Aha. So we can overload that file name with a slash old man, right, with old man slash, and it'll go find that file and play it. Okay. So if we identify, here's the files that are in that folder at startup, we'll have those available to us so we can randomly choose one to play. You see where I'm going here? I think we've got this. So let's put I can put it as an asynchronous method to run, and I don't care. Let it run in the background because this is running in the background, right? Well, I could put it in the start async. Just kick it off, let it do its thing. while it's starting here. Right, I've said start async this so that it fires off the background task and it's hanging out there. So I could do, identify old man clips, old man audio, right? And just have that run as a background task, right? And if I make this run, right, if this is an async task, I don't want to await it, but fire it and let it come back when it's done. Execution of the current method continues. Yeah, I know. That's okay. I think that's fine. And this is upset because it doesn't have anything inside of it that's being awaited. No, let me just have it return a task then. Right? Yeah, we're okay with that. You like that font? That is console. No. Cascadia code. Alright. So what I want to do is I want to look in the content folder and identify the files under www.root contents. And I don't think I have access to that. No. Okay, so I need access to the folders on disk for ASP.NET Core. Is that iHost environment? Before I start mucking with what's being passed in there, if I say iHost environment env, right? Can I say env dot not the content root path that contains the application content files. So if I access content root path and we do a path dot combine that www.root contents and then old man, right? That'll get me the old man path, right? Then I can look at the contents of that, right, by getting directory info on that. Directory info, yeah, on old man path. I paged. There we go. Right? So then I could say, get files. That'll give me an array of file info. I can select that out. Right? Let me think. Yeah. Right? So I'm going to say, give me the... I don't want the full path. I just want the name. But is the name going to give me the extension as well? I think it does. And I want to order by... Now here's the trick. Watch this. I'm going to order by... GUID, no GUID. Boom! Random ordering. And I'll put that into an array. Right? So if we call this old man sound effects equals that. So that'll give me just the file names. And we create this as an array. Right? There it is. It's a string array. So it should have just the file names in it. Then what I can do is down here when I say play sound effect, I can just say, well, play the next one in the list. So, right, if I just create a counter here, and I don't need an int. We're not going to play that many. Thank you for the follow. Who's our new follower there? Gary Tuttle, welcome in. And is that Magic Is that welcome in? Hello. Use the hash code to random sort, but not sure. Nah, I don't really need it. Let's call this old man count. So what I'll do is just increment that and choose the appropriate one, mod, however many are in the count, in there. Thank you for the follow, Lily. Oh, you subscribed and just now followed. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Welcome in. Always great to have new friends join us and writing some code together here on stream. I'm just going to double check my schedule here real quick. Make sure that I don't miss my meetings. Yeah, I've got some time. I've got time. So what we'll do is we will identify the sound effect of play, right? Is going to be old man sound effects, old man count, right? Old man count mod, the number of, right? The number of entries that are in there. That way, we always get a different one. And what we're going to tell it to play then is I'm loving it. FX, that one that we found, and we'll increment the count then. I could actually do it like this and increment it after we return it right there. That should work. That should work. Okay, so we need to change one or two things here to finish this. We need to get the iHost environment made available to us. So I'm going to take that up here, add that to the input parameters, because ASP.NET Core has dependency injection built in. So whatever I put in the constructor for this, ASP.NET will make available for me. So I'm going to call this host environment, and I'm even going to control dot and say create and initialize that field. And that's mean. What did you do? What did you do? Put that down there. Now I've really screwed up my code. Oh, that's there. Get rid of this. Okay. And it didn't initialize host environment because I do that. Now I've got it there twice. It's fine. Get rid of it. All right. So now I have the host environment as. So now it knows a little bit about my disk, so that we can do that. Why isn't it like this? Not all code paths. I don't need this to be a task then, do I? Fine. I could have it run in the background, but why? I don't have a font command. That's a... Oh, webface. Friends, do you mind if I add the font command real quick? That's a simple text-based command. We can add that. That is in app settings. JSON, we'll put that in. Great idea to put the font command in here. Just add it down here. Font, and the response to that is Jeff typically uses the open source Cascadia code font available at, and let's grab the link for that real quick. Cascadia code. There. Boom. Okay. All right. I don't have a file to play. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. Because it's not an audio. It's a text command.
Great Scott!
Yes! That plays too. Where'd it go? With my text commands. There we go. Font would kind of go here. And it stinks that I've got two different formats for this. We should clean that up someday. There we go. All right. Fantastic. Now we have a font command. Thank you for the follow. Is that Isacek? Welcome in. Nope, don't have a rats either. Should figure that one out at some point. So now, if I go back here, the only thing I need to verify is that it gets the file name back with the extension here. If it doesn't, we need to put the MP3 on it. So let's start this up and see what happens when it hits there. Let's see what happens. Magic loves the .NET Core DI. I agree. It makes things easier, but I think some people overuse it, overdo it a little bit, get a little carried away with it. And when you're trying to keep applications small, it can get in the way. There we go. All right. So it did find the folder. Yes. Get the files and select, and we should have it loaded into that array. There's no files in the array. Because there's no files there, I didn't record anything yet. Silly me. Silly, silly Jeff. You didn't put any files in the folder. I'm just going to copy any old file in here just so I have something there. Just to test it out, and then we can do some recordings, load that up, and have some fun. Didn't turn on the font command yet. You'll see the command when the bot starts running here. Let's see. All right. So we're going to get those files, put it into this array. Yes. Okay, so now the array, come on, string of length 1. There it is, and it does have the MP3, so I don't need to artificially put the MP3 on the end. It should just work. I should have let that run through. Let me let that run through, and we'll test the old man command. Oh, wait. Wait. We don't have it set up to do, right? It's doing this notification down here instead of this. I don't have it wired up quite right there yet. So when we get the on-channel points redeemed notification. Yes, I know. Goodbye. It gets the hub at that point. Crumbs. I'm going to need to... Maybe I don't have this right. Maybe I have a little memory leak happening here. Right, look at this, because it gets the attention hub there. And I'm trying to get it here as well. Okay. Alright. We can do this. We can fix this. We don't want this here. We don't need that. Right, but we do need to pass that context in. Here. So we'll do this. Hub context. No. Which also means this is static. Okay. So now I'm receiving the hub context into this. These need to be static as well now. Not terrible. Because it's the only one that runs. This is now static. Twitch pub sub service dot. What do you mean you don't? There, Why don't you like that? Oh. So the channel point actions now need to have an action that takes, oh gosh, that signature for the hub context. Needs to take one of those. Yeah, that's ugly. But it works. Right? It's taking that as an input. There we go. Thank you for the follow. Is that Rachkaud? Let me know. Welcome in. So now, when we receive it, so we get this, instead of sending this redemption object, what we're going to do is we're going to say if, and I can actually move this out as a separate action. If channel point actions contains key, the redemption title to lower if it does, we're going to do that thing. Channel point actions E redemption reward title. We're going to call that, and we're going to pass in the context that we received. Otherwise, do the existing thing. Okay. There we go. Fix those. It should work. I think we've got it. Let's see. Let's run the test. Integration test. Let's have it fail building. What? If it contains that key. Oh. Give this a shot. And then, as David was pointing out, we can test the font command, make sure that works, and we'll test the channel point redemption, and it should play and then, since that's the only thing loaded up in there, right? So screen's loaded. So now if we try that font command, try that first. There we go. There's information about the font. And if I do the channel redemption now for old man, get off my lawn. Redeem. It still played that. Okay. So somewhere we didn't catch it properly. So let's put a breakpoint right there. I'm going to redeem it again. It hit it. You son of a gun. It still hit it, even though I'm not at the code to run it. The title is Get Off My Lawn. Right? And it's actually trying to do this. Channel points redemption, and it's going to try and fire the old man developer call here. Old man sound effects. Old man count is 1, and it's going to... So it found, and then 1. So it's going to try and play sound effect, old man / and then 1. And it didn't play anything. So what happened? Oh! I'm not on the page that has that. So this one, it played over here because this is the other version, right? It's always going to play that until I deploy the new version. So now get off my lawn. And okay, so it didn't play in the browser over here. So let's take a look. See if we can find out what happens. What happened. WebSocket connected. So it should have picked up and had normalizing attention hub. Right? So play this sound effect. Right? Comes through on this. Yeah. Yeah, it's just straight /attention. So it looks like it didn't even receive the message. Oh, what's this over here? Look at that. Look. Unable to connect to Twitch pub sub. What did it connect now? There's that one. And it's not over here. Thank you for the follow, Lunateth. Welcome in. Why? Am I at least getting the channel point notifications over here? Right? And if I do... Well, that was a bad one. Hang on. Do this one. No, that's not coming through at all. I'm not getting any of the connections coming through on those. Houston, we have a problem. What did I break here? What did I break? Right? It's not even hitting this. So something crashed somewhere that took this service down. Oh, look at that. Right, if I'm not even getting the pub sub coming through. Let's see. Right, alright, there's everybody in chat. Look at them all! Going flying by! Okay. Right. And if I open a new, and we go to test client. Thank you for the follow. 17 midgets. That's a lot of midgets.
Hey, listen.
Okay, that worked. So that's coming through over here. Good. Am I getting the channel points now? There it is. Contains key, and it's going to try and play the context now.
And then?
It did it! Okay. I think we've got it. Fantastic. Let's commit the source code. How are we doing on time? Fantastic. We are doing fantastic on time. I love it. Okay. Added some text commands and the old man channel points. Old man dev channel points feature. Oh, I need to reset my YubiKey. There we go. I put the wrong pin in. There it is. All right, I'll push that out, and I'm going to rebuild and deploy a new version here. Shouldn't it be the senior developer in the PC world? Maybe. Yeah, well, something happened. It didn't connect and get the pub sub connection properly. So let's do this. I want to rebuild. Where is it? Build. I have that command. What are my tag versions here? I've got a lot of them. Down through 117.8 is. So let's create this. Let's call this 118. 1.18.0. So this is going to build my Docker container that I put everything into. I don't want to build that yet. Hang on. Because I don't have the recordings with it, and it's not going to put the stuff in it that we need. We need to do some recordings to put those commands in there so that we have them, so they're in the thing. That's clear as mud. All right. So let's do this. Stop the sound. Stop the music. Go over here. I don't need this. Don't need this. Let's start reading some old man developer quotes here. Put these into that folder and deploy the Docker container, and we'll be ready to go to have more goofy fun tomorrow. All right. I thought I had Audacity running. I do. All right. So I'm going to read these in the style of old man developer. We'll record them, make them happen, and push them out. When I was your age, I coded with peaks and pokes. Can't hear that. I coded with peaks and pokes. Try that again. When I was your age, I coded with peaks and pokes. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this little bit at the beginning. Let me do a little bit of noise reduction there because I see some noise happening. So I'll get the noise profile and eliminate. There we go. Nice and flat. Get rid of this extra bit on the end. And we will normalize. We will compress. When I was your age, I coded with peaks and pokes. There we go. We'll save that off. Nice. We're going to put this into old man, and we'll get rid of that one. And we'll call this let's call this peaks and pokes. There we go. First one done. Next. I used to code with a chisel and a stone tablet. All right. Not as much noise on this one, so I'm going to ignore it. Come back through and normalize. Compress. I used to code with a chisel and a stone tablet. There we go. Cool. Chisel. All right, that's good. And these will all be randomized and shuffled in there. I like this one. Back in my day, a forklift was required for hardware upgrades. We didn't have these fancy cloud services with sliders to add more memory and disk space. I like that one. I like that one. Get rid of this. Back in my that's fine. All right, normalize that. Yes, compress. Back in my day, a forklift was required for hardware upgrades. We didn't have these fancy cloud services with sliders to add more memory and disk space. There we go. Export that one. Yes. And this is the forklift. Wait, hang on. Should we turn that quote around? Heading out, have a good one, Skaw. Maybe we turn that around. Yeah, let's turn that around, because the joke is the forklift. Let me turn around that clip. Back in my day, we didn't have fancy cloud services with sliders to add memory and disk space. We had to go and drive a forklift so we could upgrade our hardware. No. To add memory and disk space. Go out of here. We had to go... I don't like that one. We had to drive a forklift to bring in the new hardware. We had to drive a forklift to bring in the new hardware. No. New hardware came on a truck, and you needed a forklift to bring it into the office, and it might be delivered on the weekend several months from now. There we go. Yeah, you want the forklift at the end for maximum comedic. Yes. Yes. This is all about the fun and the funny. You know what I mean, friends? Right? So now I got to edit these two clips together. There's a way to merge. Tracks, where is it? There is a... where is it? Merge tracks. Mix and render to new track. I think I need to select both of them. Tracks. Do that. But that's... I've got too many of these things. There we go. Just one. Right there. And we'll get rid of that. Okay. Get rid of all this. Down here at the end. Ah, we're good. Normalize. Done. And compress. Yes. Yes. All right. There's the forklift. Nice. What else do we have here? That was a longer one. Here we go. We didn't have network attached source control. We never had this fancy network attached source control like GitHub. Instead, I called the intern working as a data clerk and dictated my code to them over the phone for transcription and storage. There we go. I like it. I like it. And if there's anybody at GitHub watching, I think that kind of hits home with how important GitHub and other online source control services are. We never had this fancy network attached source control like GitHub. Instead, I called the intern working as a data clerk and dictated my code to them over the phone for transcription and storage. Love that. Oh my gosh. We'll call that source control. Oh, that's a good one. Slacker cubed. If Control Z didn't work, I'd be lost. Oh, you've got some more in the gist. Oh, yes, please. Oh, look at these. Yes, thank you, friends. Let's record just a few more of these, and I'll kick them out there, and I'll do the rest of them offline, so you can have some fun finding them later. Let's see. Let me scroll up. I was coding before MCSE meant must consult someone else. Let's turn that around. Let's turn that. I got it. Back in my day, when we needed to ask other people for help, we just went over and asked them. We didn't have fancy certifications like MCSE that tell you when you must consult someone else. No, that's not right. That's not right. I need to work on that joke. That one we need to work on. The only config file I ever needed was config sys. I remember the first year where Linux was going to take over the desktop. Back in my day, when I first started writing code, Linux was going to take over the desktop that year. And the year after. And the year after that. What do you mean it hasn't taken over the desktop yet? Your resub didn't trigger? What? I don't see it here, Tofu Lock. No. I don't see it in any of the activity. But thank you. I appreciate the resub. If there is a resub out there we missed, always appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, we should do something about Stack Overflow. That's good too. Let me. Does this one sound right? Back in my day, when I first started writing code, Linux was going to take over the desktop that year, and the year after, and the year after that. What do you mean it hasn't taken over the desktop yet? There we go. We'll normalize that one. Yes, yes. And the funny thing about this is, Linux takes over desktop. These are things that actually a bunch of us have said in jest, really meaning, but actually said and meant it. Let's see. You can take my. Oh my gosh. You can take WordStar from my cold dead fingers. You can pry WordStar from my. In my day, we didn't have those fancy online word processors like Google Docs and Office 365. Hang on. We never had those. We never had those fancy online word processors like Office 365. No, we had WordStar, and you're never gonna get it if you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. I need to fix that. No, we had WordStar, and you're gonna. You're never gonna take WordStar from me unless you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. And it came on a 5 1/4 floppy. You're never gonna take my 5 1/4 floppy unless you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Why do I get a feeling Old Man Developer is sounding more and more like a pirate? Let me. I don't like that bit about the second bit about the 5 1/4. And it came on a 5 1/4 floppy. You're never gonna take my WordStar from me unless you can pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Okay, so I'm gonna take the two of these and merge, mix and render. There we go. I think there's a little bit of a gap right there. WordStar, and it came on. Let me see if I can clean up that noise in the middle there. Noise reduction. I love these quotes. Thank you, friends. Noise reduction. Do the thing. There we go. That's a little bit better. I think there's a little bit too long. Floppy. That's okay. I can cut that just a little bit. Let's say. A 5 1/4 floppy. You're never going to take my word. That's all right. Good. Let's normalize and compress. I love the WordStar quote. Oh my gosh. Because the folks who know WordStar are going to be like, oh, I know what he's talking about. And I loved WordStar. Oh. Maybe, can we change this from source control? Can we change this to open source? Right? Or NPM. What's that? Yeah, like that pirate. Man wearing a hat. Yes, that man is me. I like that one too, Webface. That's a good one. Back in my day, the whole operating system and all my files on 2 floppy disks. Yeah. I'd like to take this one, Cam, and turn this into open source. Or NPM. NPM. Let's do NPM. I got it. I don't know why you kids live with this NPM. No, hang on. I don't get this obsession with the kids in this NPM. Package management, fetch and initialize. Bah! Let me tell you, in my day, I got applications printed in BASIC on the back of a magazine that we got at the newsstand. Yeah, there we go. Let me tell you, in my day, Yeah, all right. Let me tell you, in my day. Let me just cut right from here over to there. Bah! In my day, I got applications printed in BASIC on the back of a magazine that we got at the newsstand. Yeah. That's good. Let me do a little bit of noise reduction just to get rid of that extra stuff here. This is so much fun, friends. I really enjoy. I'm glad you could stick around and have some fun here. And what's funny is a lot of this is so true. A lot of us look at this fondly and go, "Oh yeah, remember that Compute magazine? I got a thing and right. Let me see. I'll call this magazine. Let's save that out. Oh my gosh. I don't. Antikythera? I'm not familiar with that. I've been I've been paid by the clock. Lynx is still my default browser. Telnet is my my email client. I remember when I couldn't afford a nibble, let alone a bite. Oh. The fastest network I ever saw was a station wagon filled with backup tapes. No. I'm doing this one, and we'll call it there. Oh my goodness. I've used reverse Hungarian notation for longer than Hungary. Darn it! I've used reverse Hungarian notation for longer than Hungary's even been a country. It's so good. It's so good. And the thing is, right? I'm going to get phone calls from people saying, "Can I get a copy of that to use in my presentation? I want to use that in a meeting with so-and-so." Because it's true. Or they work with the people who invented these things. I've used reverse Hungarian notation for longer than Hungary's even been a country. Netscape Navigator. Yes. Yes. Oh, it was an archaeological find. Oh. Back in my day, we had to implement left pad ourselves in assembler. Stelzy, I gotta record that one real quick. Okay. Hang on. Let me do, that's a good one from Stelzy. Back in my day, we had to implement left pad ourselves in assembler and couldn't just pull it from NPM. Normalize and compress, because there's a little bit of peaky in there that we'll fix. Yeah, there we go. Get rid of this. Back in my day, we had to implement. I've got that we want to mute. No, wrong button. Not that one. That's not the button. I don't want to envelope. Go away. Where's the mute button? It's this one. No! Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. And now I can chop that. Back in my day, we had to implement left pad ourselves in assembler and couldn't just pull it from NPM. Yeah, he's somewhere. Old man developer sounds like pirate programmer. Let's see. We'll call this left pad. All right, I've got a bunch of these out here for right now, just to get this running. Nope. All right. Let's rebuild it, compress all those in, and I should be able to deploy, and we should be able to test this and see some new those new channel points available. here on channel. Here we go. And please, if you have other ideas for old man developer quotes, send them over here. I will queue these up. I will record these. My host file was kept on a Rolodex. That's great. GUI really was gooey. It was messy. There's a thing. There's definitely a thing there. Oh, I love these. Search engines was just a library of links. Yeah. Right? Here we go. Compile. Do the thing. And I'm happy to share out some of these. I won't share out all of them, but I'm happy to share some of these to friends. So I always have a little bit of concern. I've had folks ask me, "Oh, can you share all of your visuals?" These are the things that make up my stream. If I'm sharing my visuals with you, I'm literally giving you the things that make my stream, and that's I'm literally giving you me. I'm giving you all the other content. I'm telling you how to do this. I'm showing you how to do this. You know, have I set a date for the 12-hour party? It's going to be sometime after the Live Coders Conference, middle of April is where I'm thinking. There we go. And now I can restart the bot. So, right, if I do a get, it has the latest. Yep. And if I run... So now we should be able to run the font command and have that pop up. There it is. So now, if I do a redemption for Get Off My Lawn...
I don't get this obsession with the kids in this NPM package management, fetch and initialize. Bah! In my day, I got applications printed in BASIC on the back of a magazine that we got at the newsstand.
See that? Yes, it works!
We never had this fancy network-attached source
I
control
am not
like
myself just
GitHub.
resubscribed for
Instead,
15
I called the
months. A
intern
winner
working
is
as a
me.
data clerk and dictated my code to them over the phone for transcription and storage.
There you go. Thank you so much for the resub. I am not myself. A winner is you. Yes, 15 months with us. Thank you so much. And we'll make another donation to code.org. This has been a lot of fun today. We wrote some features with .NET. We went back to Visual Studio, and I wanted to do something that was a little bit more lighthearted. And I hope you had fun today. My precious, thank you for the follow. And I hope we had a little bit of fun today. Just checking out, doing some things that are a little bit off the beaten path, putting together some sound effects, and doing some fun, right? It's fun to goof off every now and again, writing code and doing some funnier things to make fun of ourselves and whatnot. Let me set up for a raid here. Let's get connected with some other folks that are over on Twitch. I'm going to put the raid call out there. And we'll take a look over here. If you're a subscriber, grab the first line, copy it onto your clipboard. If you're not, grab the second line, copy it onto your clipboard, and we are going to raid. Let's see, who's somebody we can raid? Oh my gosh. You know what? Here's somebody who's... I don't think we've ever raided, and... Yeah, we're going to raid Fun Function. He's a member of the Live Coders committee. He's a member of the Live Coders team, and we're going to send you over to MPJ, who's doing some remote working. Looks like he's doing some programming on some map activities over there. We're going to send you over. Thanks so much, everybody, for tuning in. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you have a good time over there with MPJ on the Fun Function channel. I'll be back tomorrow. I have a guest, David Giard. Some of you know him as my nemesis. will be joining us tomorrow here on stream, and we'll have some of those new sound effects running the whole time. And we'll have, we'll see you then, I think. All right? Take care.